Welcome back to the Law of Attraction Tribe podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Keith. And today I want to talk about why you are way more qualified than you think to start a business, be the quote unquote expert, create a life of freedom. Okay. So first of all, last week's episode, I was a little nervous about because it was talking about investing and finances. And that's obviously something that I don't talk about very often. You guys loved it. I got so much feedback on that episode. I had Kristen in Tucson message me on Instagram. She said, I just finished listening to a super insightful podcast about investing. Investing has always felt like one of those things that only a select few really understand, but she broke it down in a way that actually made it feel simple and doable, even if you're starting with a smaller income. Definitely changed the way I think about it. So thank you, Kristen, first of all, for the kind words. You guys really seem to love the Financial Glow Up GPT tool that I created to go with that. And that is really where I just keep feeling like I'm being guided to go in my business, is to create more of these like practical, tangible tools that I use, that everyone should use, that you can apply to your life to improve it. Things that we should know, we should be taught, but no one's really teaching it. We have to kind of figure it out for ourselves. And so that got me thinking how that episode in particular, right? And then I have the AI tool, the Financial Glow Up tool that went with it. I am not an expert whatsoever. I have never been in finance. I am not a financial analyst, advisor, etc. The reason why I was so qualified and why I think it related to so many people is because I'm not the expert. I am a normal person that knew absolutely nothing about investing, and I had to figure it out. And I was able to figure it out on my own. And then I realized, okay, if I didn't know what I was doing, there's probably a lot of people out there that are in the same shoes that would love to invest and grow their money over time, but simply haven't figured it out yet. And that's what made me qualified to make this AI tool and to record that episode, because I just figured out a few things that anyone can apply and do. And so I want you to kind of think about that, because I think we all have these micro problems that we figured out for ourselves, and other people would love to know that information, right? Did I create an entire program and course around finances? No. Did I go on social media and post about finances over and over and over again? No. Like, this literally came out of left field, but it resonated because it's a problem that other people can relate to. And that's what I want to get to, because I feel like the online space is changing, and it's been changing, but it continues to change and become more and more apparent that we're really getting away from what worked great, 5 years ago, which were these high ticket coaches that are making all these promises that you're going to be a multimillionaire, and meanwhile, they're charging thousands of dollars to work with them. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. A girl that I followed, I really liked, just loved like her content and her posts. And I felt like, she's just, I don't know, she was a cool person. And I took her free masterclass. And at the end of it, she pitches like this group coaching program, which is basically teaching people how to like create courses and stuff like that. But the price, so this was like a 4-month program, 3 or 4 months, it was $15,000. And I realized, as she's talking about how she makes $200,000 a month and she's going to teach you how to do it by creating these courses. But then I was doing the math and I'm like, you're not making that money from doing the courses. You're making that money by getting 13 people to pay you $15,000 for a 4-week course that you're not even active in. It was like calls with her assistants. And I think you got 1 or 2 calls with her. And it just kind of opened my eyes to what we've seen for a long time, where these like quote unquote experts are basically, their business is built around getting people to invest crazy amounts of money with them and these like super high ticket programs. And I really feel like we're just getting away from that. And there's this wide open market for regular non-expert people to come in and solve one micro problem, one that you've gone through in your life and you've figured out that you can now share with someone else. And the very first thing that comes to mind that holds people back. We self-sabotage like crazy, but this is something every single person encounters when they are doing something out of their comfort zone. It's the whole imposter syndrome. Like, who am I to do this? Who's going to listen to me? I'm not an expert. I barely know what I'm talking about. And I've seen so many people go through this and actually never get started because they think they have to wait for some magical time where all of a sudden they are the expert. But that's not even the case. So like the financial glow up thing that I created, I'm still not an expert, but I figured out how to invest for me. And I figured I would share that with other people, share some ideas of what I learned. And so you don't have to be the expert anymore. People aren't looking for like life coach certifications and all these credentials that really don't mean anything. They're looking for people that can help them solve a problem, help them find a solution, help them figure something out in life. They're not buying your expertise, they're buying the shortcut so that they don't have to spend months or years figuring it out, which nobody has time to do, right? So I wanted to bring it up because I will bet any money that you have something that you have figured out for yourself, a problem you've overcome, a solution, just something that's improved your life in some way in the past few years, okay? Maybe you lost 30 pounds. Maybe you learned how to create products on Canva, templates on Canva. Maybe you paid off your debt. Maybe like you are ADHD but like you figured out how to organize your life around that and find little hacks to make things easier. Maybe you were a new homeschool mom and you figured out some shortcuts, some routines, some things to make life easier. You know, maybe you built some kind of new AI tool or something, right? There's so many different things out there, but I bet that there is at least one thing that you have done for yourself, that you have figured out for yourself. And it probably takes a minute to think of that thing because you probably just kind of blew it off like, well, yeah, I figured it out, but like anyone could figure it out. Yeah, anyone can figure it out, but people want the shortcut. And the other thing that people want is they want to learn from people they relate to, right? We are in this authenticity era where the quote unquote perfect expert isn't necessarily what people are seeking. People are connecting with other people that they feel are real because it's that whole mindset hurdle. Like sometimes you'll see an expert, like I'll give you an example, okay? I need to get more on track with my eating habits. Like it's just, I've been too lax and I'm like, I really need to just figure this out. And I have like a super sweet tooth. That's my downfall. And you see a lot of people online talking about it, but there's so many people where I see them and it's not necessarily a conscious thought, but just subconsciously, I'm like, oh, well, she's perfect. Like I could never be like her. You know, it's like they're too perfect. I'm just like it just doesn't. That's great for them, but I can't do that. Like I'm not that disciplined or whatever. And I came across this girl, Michaela Thomas, and I've seen her stuff before, but what got me to pause and want to like binge everything, buy all her programs was she posted a video of herself recently. Like she still has little kids. So this was like right after she had a baby where she was overweight. And seeing that, I was like, I want to learn from her because she's a normal person who's gone through it and she figured out how to lose that, you know, the last bit of like baby weight or whatever and still eat like her whole thing is like, I lost 55 pounds or whatever it was and I have a major sweet tooth. So she shows like healthy dessert options and stuff like that. But so many people are doing that. What made me so drawn to her was that I saw that not that long ago, she was in my shoes and she was able to turn it around like quickly, you know, on her own. And I think that is what's really drawing people in. And I think that's where we're seeing a big shift. And we're seeing people look for not these big programs by these big famous experts, but just solutions to micro problems by everyday normal people that are just like us. And I know that's always kind of been a thing, like you need to be relatable, but I'm telling you more than ever, we're shifting towards this. And people are craving authenticity. People are craving real people. People want to feel like you get it because you went through it. And there's just so many people out there that are like 25 steps ahead, and it's intimidating and it feels impossible. But if you can learn from someone that's 1 or 2 steps ahead, like that's, to me, like that is so ideal. And I think we're going to start seeing a lot of people, building businesses and blowing up by just solving these like little problems that they themselves figured out recently. So, think about yourself, not even 5 years ago, think about yourself like 2 years ago, or even a year ago, or 6 months ago, and think about like what all has transpired in that time. Like I was looking at this program, and I'm like, that I created. I'm like, man, this is so like, I remember recording that program, and just where I was at in life, it's like night and day. Like, I feel like I've come so far since then. And I was expecting it to be like 2021. It was like 2024, like end of 2024. I'm like, wow, it's just wild to see how much shifts, and we kind of take it for granted and we don't realize. But that's what I want you to do right now, is like stop and look back at like, okay, where was I in 2024? And what have I done since then? What problems have I figured out? What obstacles in life have I overcome? Sometimes the biggest obstacles that seem like the worst things that can happen to you in life, maybe it's a divorce, maybe it's a breakup, maybe it's losing your business or your job, or, some kind of big thing that you're just like, man, everything's falling apart. Sometimes those things can be the greatest blessing, because they put you on a new path and they help you, they put you in a position to help other people going through the same thing. Okay. So everyone liked the financial glow up AI thing. I just want to create like more tools that help people figure this out and manifest a life they don't need a vacation from, create more freedom. And no one's going to create it for you. You have to create it for yourself. And so I was thinking about it, and I'm like, when I talk to other people about this, I get the same response every single time. People are like, yeah, that's great. I would love to have an online business. I would love to quit my day job. I would love to, have a side hustle or make extra money or whatever, but I don't even know where to get started. I don't even know what I would do. And that is normal. That I was there. And that's where most of us are, because you're so busy in the 9 to 5 that you really don't have time for all these extra things. So what I suggest is thinking about what's one micro problem that you solved in your own life that if a friend were to ask you, you'd be like, oh yeah, I can help you with that because I did it. And so what I created a free AI tool called Freedom Compass. And it's basically like a quiz where for like 10 or 15 minutes, like it's asking you all these questions to understand you. Like, what are you passionate about? What kind of lifestyle do you want to live? What knowledge and skill sets do you have? What experiences have you had? Challenges, like all these different things. And then it helps you come up with actual digital products that are easy to create that you can start selling. And I wanted to break it down and make it so easy, because I genuinely believe that anyone can do this. And I think that this is a window where a year from now or 2 years from now, you're going to look back and think, why didn't I do that? Like, you're going to see other people selling things where you're like, I'm way more qualified than them. I should have done that. Like, I'm telling you, it's just these little micro tools and programs and things like that from real people. This is what everyone is looking for. And I think that it's really scary to just like leave your day job and start a business. You don't have to do that. You do not have to do that. Like, you can create things. Like, I think about all the products that are doing really well for me right now. They don't require me to be on camera. They take minutes to make. And I don't even promote them on social media. Everyone thinks like, oh, I gotta be on social media. I don't even promote this stuff on social media. I run ads, or I use my email list. Like, there's other things you can do. And I just think that there's so much opportunity right now. And I listen to, people that I talk to, and I know it's stressful and money is tight. And I feel like everyone can use a side hustle right now. And I'm telling you, like, creating a digital product is the easiest thing to do, because you create it up front and then you can sell it for years and years and years to come. I mean, I literally have things that I created in 2021 that are still selling to this day, and I haven't touched it since 2021. So anyhow, Freedom Compass, that's what it is. It's helping you really get down to what is that one micro problem that you're qualified to help someone with, that you overcame in your life, or that you just happen to have knowledge on because it's something that lights you up. I'll give another example. So, I started homeschooling my kids, and it's very intimidating in the beginning because there's so many groups and co-ops, and the people who have been doing it for a long time, like you would think I would like gravitate towards them, like teach me everything but it's intimidating. I'm like, I don't really. But then when there's a mom that's like, I just started homeschooling, I'm like, yes, like you're like me, and I'll want to learn from them and they'll want to learn from me. And it's like, we're figuring it out together. Or if there's a mom that's like, hey, like I started last year, it was very overwhelming. Here's what I did. That's the person I want to sit down and have coffee with and learn from. Not necessarily the mom that's been doing it for 15 years, which they're great. Like, don't get me wrong. But it is intimidating. It feels a little more impossible when you are learning from someone who's like the quote unquote expert or quote unquote perfect. And so I think that we need to start thinking in these terms. People want to learn from other people. People want to learn from people who have been in their shoes, who are real, who are, relatable, and perfection and that whole side of the internet. And maybe it's just me. I don't think so. I think this is where we're headed. But for me, it gives me the ick. It just really turns me off. And I just don't even want to go on Instagram anymore because I feel like Instagram is so much more that way. Where like TikTok, it's more like just real people. So anyhow, if you get what I'm saying, I feel like I'm rambling around this, but my intuition is spot on. I'm telling you, it never leads me astray. And these are kind of the things that I'm doing in my business now, trying to solve these micro problems, realizing that I don't have to wait until some, theoretical date that all of a sudden I'm considered an expert to start teaching people on certain things like AI. I love teaching people how to use AI to improve their life. Am I an AI expert? No. Was I in the tech industry? No. Did I go to school for this stuff? No. I don't even know how to code, but yet I'm selling AI tools left and right. So gone are like all the old rules that we thought we had to follow, where you need a certification and you need a degree and you need to be an expert and you need to have $1 million doing whatever you're doing before you can talk about it. And now is this new era of just real people helping other real people. And let's set aside all the bullshit, all the fluff, all the extras, and just help other people. And if we can create a product around that to help ourselves achieve freedom, why not? Like, why would you not do that? This is prime time to start creating things like that. So I will link the Freedom Compass in the show notes. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. So why not? And again, like just set aside, I would say 15 minutes. And a little tip for you. I love doing this with AI. So AI is really good at taking messy information and putting it all together and formulating a very clear path. So sometimes when we're typing, more of our logical brain comes on and we try to like formulate things into perfect sentences, and it can limit us. When you do the voice feature where you're just talking into it, I think that works better because you can just word vomit. Like you can just say all of the ideas on your mind, all of the things that are constantly roaming around in our mind, and just put it all in there. And it doesn't matter if it is sloppy. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense. AI is able to take all of that word vomit and find like the diamond in the rough. And we all have a diamond in the rough, every single person. I love Elizabeth. Is it Elizabeth Gilbert? I'm pretty sure it's Elizabeth Gilbert that says that there is like a gem within all of us. That's our purpose, and we're meant to share that with the world. And like in our life, we're supposed to uncover what that is. And this is kind of helping you sort through that, because there might be things that you think are just normal, like everyone does that or everyone knows that, but really could help like so many people, because it's something that you're a little bit better at or you have a unique approach with. So I just recommend trying that and seeing what happens. And I'm kind of doing a test with it. So full transparency here. I didn't even plan on this being a test, but I've had this course idea in mind, basically like a 30-day challenge or a 30-day roadmap to creating and selling and putting it all on autopilot your digital product. Because every time I create a new offer, literally every offer, it does not matter if it is a full-blown course or if it's a subliminal or if it's an AI tool, I do it within 30 days. I've got it so down to exactly what needs to be done when, and it takes no more than 30 days, usually less than that. And I thought that might be helpful for other people that are getting started to have that roadmap of here's what you do when, and here's how you set it all up so that it's successful. You have a good launch, you can continue reselling it. So anyhow, I'm working on that sort of making an outline. And I thought Freedom Compass, if people are interested in figuring out what am I good at? What could I create a digital product around? What kind of business could I set up? Because that's what Freedom Compass does. It'll tell you a digital product, the business type, your niche, your ideal customer, all that stuff. And so if people are interested in that, then that's a good indication that I should move forward with this 30-day challenge or roadmap, whatever you want to call it. So that's kind of going to be my compass on should I move forward with this or not? But like I said, most people I talk to, that's the very first thing I get. Well, I don't even know what I would do. And I could sit down and talk to you for hours, or you can do this quiz and let AI help you figure out a clear path. And to me, that's better because AI is going to pick up on patterns and things that I would miss because I'm a human being. So I'll link that in the show notes. I'll put it on the homepage of the lawofattractiontribe.com. You can grab it there and just, it's free. Go through the quiz. And at the very least, just again, think, what is something that I have overcome that I could help other people overcome? Okay. And you can take it a step further. I would be what is something as an online business owner and a homeschool mom of 3 that I have overcome or that I have learned and figured out over the past year or 6 months or 2 years? And that can kind of help you visualize hey, there's other homeschool moms out there that have an online business and would totally relate to what I'm doing. And just keep that in the back of your mind because I'm telling you, we all have this golden nugget. And I think this is what people are looking for, not the expert, not the big, huge programs, just little digital offers that will help them solve one problem, one micro problem. And it can even be something you're going through right now. Just kind of look at man, I've really had to figure all this stuff out and it's been such a pain in the ass. Well, if it's a pain in the ass for you, it's a pain in the ass for other people. Why not teach them the shortcut, right? So hopefully that inspires you. I don't know. We'll see. I think it will. I think if we really get honest with ourselves, we all have some pretty genius information just based on our lived experience that the world needs. And hopefully this will inspire you to dig a little and figure out what that is for you. So again, I will link Freedom Compass in the show notes. You can find it at thelawofattractiontribe.com. And I'll see you in the next episode.